Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man, Sergio, aka the floor price guy. And we're Combat Sport guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown, prediction, picks, analysis, this time in the form of UFC Vegas 106. Gilbert Burns up against Michael Morales. Before we do that, let's go over last week. How you doing, my man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Let's break down last week, baby.
Last week we had UFC 315 in. Was it in Montreal? It was in Montreal, Canada, your territory, where JDM was victorious in a unanimous decision win over Bilal Muhammad to gain the welterweight championship. In the co-main event, we had Valentina Shevchenko retaining her belt up against Manon Fiorot. What did you think of the card, man, overall? I thought that the win over Bilal Muhammad set a lot of things in motion for the UFC, right? We got the announcement yesterday of Islam versus JDM in the future when JDM is ready. And then we got Ilia Topuria facing off against Charles Oliveira for the vacated UFC lightweight champion. What do you think, man?
God's plan, brother. Is that what Habib said? Well, what did he text me? Roy texted me right now. He said, Bilal, I'm not in your camp, but remember, Canelo hands. Canelo hands him.
Yeah, I actually like the idea of them vacating the belt because if things go according to plan and Ilia Topuria is victorious, it sets up for a bigger fight, right? Because you have Ilia winning the lightweight championship, and then you have Islam if he's successful in beating JDM, having the welterweight coming back down and be like, hey, I never lost the belt. Boom, those two clash. Way bigger fight than Ilia coming up and challenging him, right?
That's true.
I don't know. But yeah, that card, I liked the card. A couple of iffy decisions, but overall the card was good. It did well. One of the standout performances that I enjoyed watching was Natalia Silva, her movement up against Alexa Grasso, the former champ. She claims the number one spot. She should be challenging for the belt next. I don't know if they're gonna do Weili Zhang versus Shevchenko. I know that was teased in the past. They could, but if not, Silva versus Shevchenko should be a good matchup. And then Bilal Muhammad up against JDM. I felt like Bilal Muhammad was under a lot of pressure to prove to the fans that he's not a boring fighter, that he's not a decision merchant. And he went out there, he let the hands go. Kudos to JDM for stuffing the takedowns, keeping the fight standing, and outstriking him. We kind of knew we all knew he was the better striker, he was the better boxer, and he has good takedown defense, good stand-up game, good jiu-jitsu. So kudos to him, man. He is the new welterweight champion. What did you think?
I think it was a great fight. Like when it was a good call overall. Like summarizing, I mean, like there was just a couple fights that like what we predicted off air that like I really fucked up in, and one of those was picking Alexa Grasso. It just showed her like, yeah, very disappointed on that loss. But we knew Silva was the real deal, but I thought Alexa had a counter, and she did not have a counter to that. So
Yeah.
And then like Modesta versus Kudaleba, like, come on, bro, what are we doing here? What like that was
Yeah, if you look at the stats and look at the numbers, I don't think I had it going for Ion Kutalaba,
yeah.
but you could argue it was 1-1 going into the third. But 30-27, like, what are we doing, right? And one of the things we talked about the night of the card is having judges with MMA experience is super important, right? Like, and what is the criteria for judging fights? Like, they had one guy, I think you pointed out and you shared on X, it was his first time judging an MMA fight. He was a boxing judge, right? And this is his first time judging an MMA fight. So that kind of shows you the level of judges that we have in the UFC. It's unfortunate, but 30-27, I could see them giving the split decision to Modestas, but 30-27 is kind of egregious, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, go ahead.
The big one was Aldo versus Zahabi.
Yeah. Aldo versus Zahabi. There's just not enough in the gas tank, right? And it's unfortunate that was his last fight. He laid the gloves down, and he lost to Ayman Zahabi the way he did. But
yeah,
I kind of knew it was the beginning of the end when he looked up at the clock and there was 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm like, oof, it's gonna be long, bro. It's gonna be long, bro.
He exerted everything, and the day was just
Yeah.
insane. I have if you want, put the bet
Yeah.
stuff.
So as always, we like to share with you guys how well we did in terms of picks. It wasn't the best night for myself. I did 6 of 12, whereas my boy did 8 of 12. 11 of our bets hit that we put out for the night. So we have it there. We gave you dog money in Valentina Shevchenko and Gabriel Santos. Shout out to you for picking Gabriel Santos, right? A lot of people were on the side of Lee, and Santos had a solid game plan. He had the pressure, he had the wrestling and the forward momentum. So, Santos looked good, man. Looked good after being gone for 2 years.
The one that I'm proud about, the one that like I was like so firm is Barriel. Remember I told you like,
Oh yeah, everybody, bro. If you were on the side of Silva, bro, what are you doing? Like, if you watch MMA, you watch his last fight, my man, they look like you not want to be in the octagon anymore. If
yeah,
you put money on Silva just because you like the plus money, I got one word for you: Degen. You're a Degen. You got an issue. You need to go talk to a therapist.
well,
But
he's
yeah,
not a therapist,
no,
man.
that was a good call. You put the money line on
But
Barrios.
I saw this, bro, and I'm like, we're both picking them, bro. This is, it feels like so easy money.
Yeah.
And it got through, and we were right. And it's just like, yeah, like I don't think, I haven't seen that they cut him yet.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, my guy's like, let me go to therapy and let me come back for one last fight in my condo.
Exactly. And we also gave you parlays at plus money. We have Almacan, Sterling, and Jazz Duvicious for a plus 202. So you put $100 down, you get $302 back. So not a bad call. As always, we drop our picks, we drop our bets on Friday or Thursday prior to the card being done. And we always want to remain transparent and tell you guys how well we did and how bad we did, right? So we have Shevchenko defeating Manon Fiorot via decision. I thought that it was very disrespectful that the champ was an underdog. I get it. Bigger opponent, kickboxer, right? Solid takedown defense, but Shevchenko just has that counter punch and she has that movement. And if you watch Fiorot against Blanchfield, she was getting hit on the feet, and that kind of led me. And it's Shevchenko, right? Shevchenko hasn't lost until 2019 was her last loss prior to Alexa Grasso. So
yeah,
she's a goat, man. We'll see what's in the future for her.
But champ, it's the first. I mean, look, Bellato is different, right? But like it's motherfuckers Marab, Wei Li, and now Shevchenko, all plus money.
All plus money, yeah. So this year, right? This year we've had a bunch of champs come in at plus money, and we were on the side of the plus money. So very interesting. And this year has been kind of weird, right? Where we've seen a lot of undefeated fighters lose. We see a lot of favorites lose, a lot of underdog champions win. So it is what it is, man. But let's get into this part.
Before we go, maybe they just announced DDP versus Hamza. Maybe my boy DDP at a plus. He's a plus 180, eh?
That's another fight that they announced, right, in Chicago. So should be good. I'm excited for that one, man. I'm excited for that one. But let's move on to this card here. We have UFC Vegas 106. We will be going over the whole card. We got Gilbert Burns taking on Michael Morales. Kicking off the card, we have Luana Pinheiro taking on Tisha Pennington, aka Tisha Torres. If you've been watching for a while. Let me pull up my notes here. Ooh. All right. Pinheiro is 11-4-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Jillian Robertson via unanimous decision. Pennington is 14-7-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Carla Esparza via unanimous decision. I think this fight, I'm going to have to side with Pennington. I like her movement. I like her activity. I like her stand-up game. Up against Carla Esparza, you could argue it was an older Carla Esparza. It wasn't the Carla Esparza of old, but she was able to, utilize her footwork, utilize her striking, move in and out, keep the fight standing. And she's going up against Luana Pinheiro, who has weak striking. She does absorb a lot of hits. And her takedown defense is not the best. It's at 60%, but she does have the judo. She does have the grappling, so she does fight well in the clinch. But I think Tisha's technical striking, her movement, her footwork is going to be a bit too much, and her takedown defense is good. So I'm going to go with Pennington to get it done here.
I do want to go with Luana though. I really think even like that fight with Carla. I think Carla won that fight. It was a very
Really.
Yeah, I had Carla winning that fight. Was it a unanimous or a split? Let me see. Unanimous decision. Yeah, I remember we called that card 7 months ago. That was one of the first cards we called. I'm gonna go with Tisha. I could change my mind. I'm gonna watch a little bit more film. Like the one thing, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go with Pinheiro. Reason why. opponent Gillian Robertson. I think Gillian is very, very durable. Angela Hill as well. Like, yeah, this is where I get a little bit scared.
DJ. Oh,
Yeah, this is bro. This is actually okay. You know what? I'm gonna go with Tisha. I might change my mind later.
Why are you going with Tisha, man? I'm sorry. Go, man.
Tisha's like, I saw the mountain. I forgot about the mountain choke, man. I was like,
yeah, man. All right, so you're gonna go with Tisha Pennington? Yeah, I think Luana Pinheiro. I think the fact that her takedown and her striking, there are holes in her game, right? And those holes are exploited by anybody with decent level of grappling and striking. I think that's exactly what Tisha Pennington has, right? She's going to be able to stick and move. She's going to be able to neutralize takedowns if Luana tries to get in the clinch, tries to utilize that judo, tries to get the grappling going. So yeah, Tisha Pennington should get it done here. I just liked how she looked against Carla Esparza, and I think she was a dog against Carla Esparza, wasn't she? And I think you were on the side of Esparza, and I was on the side of Pennington in that fight. And I think she surprised us both with how good she looked after coming off of a pregnancy. I think she just had a kid. She came off of pregnancy, so she looked good, man. Her movement. I'm gonna go with her.
Yeah, oftentimes, like I said, like that was. Let me see.
Yeah, look it up real quick while I get the next fight ready.
Minus 150 plus 110. Okay, it was a close fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, plus 110. So yeah, I was on the side of Tisha. You were on the side of Carla, and we'll see what happens here. She is a heavy favorite now at a minus 400. So this card has a lot of potential. It looks weird on paper. People are probably going to be like, "Oh, this is a lame card," but I feel like there's a lot of finishing ability. This could be one of those entertaining cards.
Yeah, smaller octagon too.
Yeah. Next up, we have a flyweight bout. We have Hyung Sung Park taking on Carlos Hernandez. Park is 9-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Shannon Ross via KO. Hernandez is 10-4-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Nuamjurgal to Mendembro via unanimous decision at UFC China, Macau. I believe he was the underdog in that fight, and we were both on the side of Hernandez, right? He was able to utilize the wrestling, kind of outstrike him and win via unanimous decision. I think here, though, he's going up against Park, who is a finisher. He has 6 stoppages in his 9 wins. He has good striking. His grappling game is part of his arsenal as well, right? He likes to incorporate the grappling with his striking. He's good technique, man. Good front kicks, good takedowns. He's going up against Hernandez, who has the boxing, he has the cardio, he has the wrestling. He averages about 1.7 takedowns per 15 minutes. And then in the smaller octagon, I have a feeling he's going to try to get the wrestling going, but I trust Park's ability and his takedown defense enough. And on the scrambles on the ground, if he does get taken down, to not get completely dominated, to get this done. I think he's just better overall. He's undefeated though, so I could see people being like, "Oh, it's a bit, I don't know, man. Undefeated fighters haven't had success," but I'm gonna go with Park here, man. I think he's gonna be able to hold his own on his feet and keep the fight standing.
Yeah, I'm going to side with Hernandez on this one. I think Hernandez has the tools to get it done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like and again, I'm counting on control here. I'm counting on, like very similar to what happened with Santos last weekend. Is what I'm kind of like. Park comes in very kind of steam heavy, but for Hernandez is able to press and put him down.
No, and he has good cardio. Like I could see a scenario where he's outstriking him on the feet, like and then level changing and trying to secure those takedowns. If he fights smart and it's a small octagon, he has the cardio to do so. But I think Park should be good here. But I'm not mad with you siding with the dog and Hernandez. I think that's a solid dog. So you're going with Hernandez. I'm going with Park to get it done. We're moving on here to our next bout. We have Jared Gordon taking on. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it Jared Gordon? What's the next fight?
Denise.
Oh, sorry about that.
We could do Jared though if you want. We could do Jared.
No, we'll do Denise. We have Denise Gomes taking on Elise Reed. Now, let me look for. I wrote my notes wrong here. My bad. Gomes is 10-3-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Karolina Kowalkiewicz via unanimous decision. Reed is 8-4-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Jessica Penne via unanimous decision. Now, when you look at Denise Gomez, she's a heavy hitter. She's short. She's compact. She has explosive striking. She has that Muay Thai background, aggressive combinations, good power. Oh, she's going up against Reed. Well, I just think that Reed, she has some holes in her game. And even though she's never been knocked out, she is durable. She has the striking precision. Like she's like the way I could see Reed winning this fight is if she maintains her distance. She strikes from range, right? She utilizes the height. Like she has the 1 inch height advantage, but she strikes from range. She doesn't let Denise Gomez get in the pocket. Utilize the striking. But I think Gomez here is gonna be victorious, man. I like her a bit more.
Yeah, I say Gomez let us down, bro, last time.
She won last time.
Was it go? No. Oh my god, I'm confusing this
You're
girl.
think you're thinking of Souza. You're thinking of Souza.
Yeah, they fought at Hill.
Yeah, you're thinking of Souza.
Damn, what a crazy. No, Gomez off the bat, bro. We don't got to talk about it. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, what happened? Wow, that's crazy of me. Sorry. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
No, yeah. I think Gomez gets it done here, man. And listen, Reed is not a bad opponent. Like she's not bad. She's just a bit inconsistent. She does have the kickboxing. Like I said, like, she could have success in this fight if she keeps the fight at range. But I think Gomez's forward pressure, her striking, her Muay Thai, her kicks, her combinations is going to be a bit too much. I think she's going to win. She could possibly get it done inside the distance, but I got to look at that a bit more.
Yeah, no, Gomez all the way, brother.
Yeah, we're going with Gomes here. And then here we have Luana Santos taking on Tainara Lisboa. Now, Santos is 8-2-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Casey O'Neill via unanimous decision. Lisboa is 7-2-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Ravina Oliveira via unanimous decision. Santos is moving up in weight. She is coming up from 125 pounds to 135. This is a striker versus grappler. I think Luana Santos is the favorite going into this fight. She's at a minus 130. I don't know what the line is at right now.
Minus 170 now.
She's a minus 170 now. She's the favorite, but I'm gonna have to side with Lisboa here. I think Lisboa has the better and like mixed martial arts pedigree, right? Like she has that Muay Thai background. She has crisp technical striking. She's physical. She's gonna be able to level change, get some key takedowns here, do well on the feet. She has the momentum on her side right now, and she's going against Santos, who has she has a judo background. She can get takedowns. She can get trips. She can get throws and all that. But her striking is developing. It's not all there. She has heavy hands. She doesn't really have the technique. She's younger, so people are probably looking at the age. They're looking at the record, and they're probably like, Lisboa hasn't fought within a year, so they're probably be like, oh, she's inactive. Whereas Luana fought this year. This is her second fight. I think she last fought. I'm sorry, she last fought last year. It's been 2 years since Lisboa has fought, so people are kind of like, she's been out of the octagon. She's gonna have, some octagon rust. But I think Lisboa here has solid takedown defense. It's at 85%. She's going to be able to keep the fight standing, where she's the better striker, in my opinion. And I think she's going to get it done here. I like her as a dog. I think Lisboa should be able to strike her at range, should be able to, kind of pick her shots, outstrike her, win off of points like that, and then level change and use that physicality if need be. I'm going to go with Lisboa.
Yeah. I do want to go with Lisboa, but I like Luana a little bit more, just for today at least. I think she had a very tough competition with Casey O'Neill. Like, bro, Casey O'Neill is like no joke. Like when it comes to her ranking, yeah, things to be kind of aware of. It's just like going up to a new weight division has me a little bit concerned. We need to see how she looks. That's the only thing. I want to see how she looks at 125. Oh, sorry, 135. I'm gonna go with Santos.
Okay. You go with the favorite,
Santos. Yeah.
Okay. So you're on the side of Santos. I'm on the side of Lisboa. We'll move on here to our next bout. We have Connor Matthews taking on Yadier DelValle, making his UFC debut, coming off of the Contender Series. Matthews is 7-3-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Jose Delgado via KO. DelValle is 8-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Antonio Montero via unanimous decision. Now Matthews, we kind of know what to expect of him. He's a decent grappler with okay striking. He does have issues regarding his chin. He has been put out in the past, but he does have good wrestling. He has good grappling, jiu-jitsu, good takedowns. Obviously, he's going up against DelValle, who has a well-rounded skill set. He's athletic. He has good cardio. He's a little bit reckless with his punches, but I think he'd be able to hone it in here. And I think Connor Matthews is probably going to look like his last fight. He's going to come in. He's going to try to get the wrestling going. And then eventually, as the fight progresses, I think DelValle, once he shakes off the jitters, and if he does well, he's going to be able to, find his groove, find the striking, and then possibly put out Connor Matthews. I'm going to go with DelValle here, man.
DelValle? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit struggling with here because I do predict a upset. There's a possibility of that.
He's Cubano, bro. What are you going to do to your Cubano brother, bro? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you.
Cuban in Texas is not Cuban. I'm gonna be straight with you, my boy. Cubans in Florida are Cubans. I'm just fucking around. Yeah, I mean, look, one of the reasons why I had kind of picked Matthew sometimes, I was just like, well, the cartel prepared him correctly, and we saw what happened with him in his last fight.
You got knocked out, bro, in Mexico.
Yeah.
That's 2 months, and you got to think about the turnaround too. You get knocked out 2 months ago, and you're coming back already.
Yeah, I'm going with DelValle.
Yeah, I know one of the things that we often talk about is taking time off in between fights from when you get knocked out, right? And then that's a very, very big turnaround. I think what's the protocol that you mentioned? It's like what, 6 to 8 months?
6 months minimum.
6 months minimum, right? And we're gonna see. Yeah, and we're gonna see a fighter later on in this card that took about a year and a half off in Yusuff, Sadiq. So we'll move on here. We're both gonna be on the side of DelValle making his UFC debut. He should be victorious. We'll move on here to Jared Gordon taking on Thiago Moises. Now, Gordon is 27-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Nasrat Hakparasat via split decision. Moises is 19-8-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Trey Ogden via unanimous decision. I believe we were both on opposing ends in that fight. You were on Moises' side. I was on Trey Ogden's side. And Moises looked really good in that fight. He impressed me in that fight. And I think he's coming to his own. I think he's putting it all together. Obviously he's a black belt. He has dangerous jiu-jitsu. He's dangerous on the ground. His striking is what's getting better. It's versatile, right? He has that like kickboxing background, that base. He incorporates leg kicks, body shots, calf kicks, nice boxing combinations, good movements, cuts off angles really well. And I think mixing that in with his takedowns and his scramble abilities, making him really a threat in this division. So I'm gonna go with Moises here to be victorious over Jared Gordon. And Jared Gordon's not bad. His striking isn't the best. It's improvement. He's a high volume striker. He often focuses on like his accuracy over his power, right? So you kind of see him just in there jabbing, sticking, moving, popping. He likes to move in, close the distance, where he thrives in the pocket. But I just think up against Thiago Moises, it's going to be a little bit too much. And this is even right now. The odds have it at a -110.
He's -120 right now. Yeah, Jared is
Who?
even.
Jared is even.
Moises is one. I'll pick Moises. Like I just like.
Yeah.
So the one thing he's gonna have is snapping power. Like if you go back into this particular fight,
yeah,
the Oldman fight, there's a couple things that kind of the speed differential was there. I think it's gonna come with the same speed differential. I look at Jared Gordon against his fight with Oliveira. And if I'm not mistaken, well, it was an uppercut, right? It wasn't really a submission.
And then you look at the one against Patty. You look at Jared Gordon against Patty. A lot of people felt that he could have won that fight. But since then, I mean, you look at Nasrat, right? Nasrat was able to outstrike him.
I had Nasrat. Remember, I had
Nasrat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 36. I just think Moises is coming to his own. Like he was a top 15 fighter for a bit.
And he's 30 years old. Like he's like, this is like the optimal age for people to reach their prime is like 28 to 32. So I think he's kind of coming into his own, right? He's putting it all together. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And I mean, look, the guys that he's lost to, they're very durable guys. Like it's
Mhm.
when BSD was on his when he's rampantly going up the division, right? And then
Yeah,
Ludovic Klein is no joke as well. So I mean, I'm going to side with Moises. Moises
yeah,
got this. I mean, there's good money on Moises. I'm gonna be 100 with you.
yeah.
Um, like one of the things I'm trying to do now is pick my top pick. My top pick was Barrial in this last fight. I think Moises is my top pick.
Ario. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, and I think yeah, I'm not mad at the pick. Obviously I agree with you. I'm on the same side. I think Thiago Moises gets it done, man. I think he's going to be more active. He's going to be able to mix in the takedowns, uh, look good on the ground, and then his striking is what's gonna you're gonna see levels of striking improve here. So I think Moises gets it done.
Yeah.
We'll
That
move
reach
on.
and that's bro, the reach and the speed is gonna win this fight.
What's the reach at? I just closed it out.
68 to 70.5, but mostly the speed. The speed, like when you
Okay.
give a guy like this a little bit of reach,
Hmm.
he's quicker. And then what is
Yeah,
he gonna do? He's gonna take Moises down. You know what Moises, what Moises is gonna do. So let's see,
yeah.
bro. Let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
I agree. I think Moises gets it down. As always, guys, make sure you follow us on X. It is here below. Follow us at Combat Sport, guys. We do drop our picks, our bets, and we also are live on the night of the fights. Giving immediate recap. So make sure you tap in. Make sure you show some love. We're doing this essentially for free, right? We're not asking for subscription. We're not asking for money. We're not asking for anything. We're just in here breaking down these fights for you. So moving on here, we have Matthias Camilo taking on Gabe Green. This is our main card now, right? I think this is our main card.
Okay.
Mateus Camilo taking on Gabe Green. Camilo is 9-2-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Doro Bushkov Nabotov via unanimous decision. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that. I hope I didn't butcher that. Green is 11-5-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Brian Battle via KO 2 years ago at welterweight. He is dropping down to light. Is this lightweight? I think this is a lightweight, right?
Yeah, yeah, that way.
Yeah, so he's dropping down from 170 to 155, so he's going to lose some power. He's probably going to gain some speed. How old is he? He's 32. Yeah, he's still young. He's 32 years young. When you look at Green, as I mentioned, he's dropping down to lightweight from welterweight. He has knockout power, aggressive striking. He's good on the ground. Uh, he is on a 2-fight losing skid, though. He did get knocked out by Brian Battle. As we mentioned, he took 2 years off, and we're seeing him now at a new division. So we don't know how he's going to look, essentially, right? He's going to look a bit dehydrated. He's going to look a bit weak, a bit slower. Who knows, right? He could be faster. He could be slower. Who knows? Sometimes these weight cuts don't really benefit the people, right? They look a lot
Yeah.
worse, right? And we'll talk about that when we get to Nurselton, because Nurselton's a 185er. He dropped down to 170 and he got dominated by Buckley, right? And he kind of said, like, listen, I was not good for that fight. I was extremely dehydrated. He's 6'5", making 170. That's crazy. So he also has bad striking defense at 42% and his takedown defense at 61%. So he is vulnerable up against people who do have, the striking or the grappling prowess. Camilo, when you look at him, he's well-rounded. He throws nice calf kicks. And I think he's going to utilize those in this fight to limit Green's forward movement, causing him to switch stance and kind of like, figure out, you know, like, okay, how am I going to approach? How am I going to be able to move forward? He's young. He has the momentum. He's on a 6-fight winning streak. This is his UFC debut, I believe. Yes, it is his UFC debut. He's training at Extreme Couture. So, he's going to have some solid training partners for his UFC debut. And the issue here could be, how's he going to look, right, when the lights are shining bright, right? Is he going to be nervous? Because we've seen it happen when people get these UFC debuts. They look good on the regional scene, and then they get to the UFC, and it's a bit too much. They fall flat. But we'll see, man. We'll see. He has losses on his record. He lost via submission both times. So
Yeah.
I don't see Gabe Green. We'll see, man. I'm gonna go with Camilo here, though. I just don't know how Gabe Green's gonna look at lightweight. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with
same,
the
same.
debut.
That and the preparation of Novo Uniao,
Mhm.
like that this motherfucker is not coming into.
Yeah,
It's not a what do you call it? He's dealing with the best in the world there. There's a lot of killers in that division. So sorry,
yeah,
over that camp. So I think he's polished. He's ready. And how long has it been? It's 4 months. Let's go. He's ready. He's ready. He's ready.
All right. So we're both gonna go with Camilo to get it done here in his UFC debut. Next up, we have a good fight. Actually, I was very intrigued when I saw that this fight was happening. I looked at it and I was like, okay, it can go either way. We have Julian Erosa taking on Melquisal Costa. Erosa's 31-11-0, and is 3-5 in their last five bouts. Last beating Darren Elkins via KO, which Elkins looked like he came out, after fucking chugging a six pack in the locker room, right? Costa is 23-7-0 and is 4-5 in their last five bouts. Last beating Christian Rodriguez via unanimous decision. Now, Costa has been active. I think this year alone in 2024. This is 20. I keep thinking it's 2024, man. I'm stuck in the
Fight. This just should be his third fight.
No, this is his third fight in 2025. He fought Andre Philly earlier in the year, right? Which he got the submission win. He fought Christian Rodriguez in Mexico, which he got the unanimous decision win. And I think Costa, how old is he right now? He's 28 years old, right?
Yes.
I think he's again, like we talked about earlier, he's hitting his prime, right? And you look at Costa, I said this in the past, when he's fighting from range and utilizing his Muay Thai, he looks good. I like when he throws his kicks to the legs, to the body. He's a shoot the box fighter. He's an aggressive striker. He has grappling as well. I think he's very well rounded. His takedown average is about 0.77 per 15 minutes. We're in the smaller octagon here. He is going up against Erosa, who is well rounded. He's long. He's lengthy. He has a bunch of submission wins on his record and knockouts. His striking's okay. He's tough. He's chaotic on the ground. But I think Costa here is going to find a way to keep the fight standing and hold his own, right? He's going to keep the fight at striking range. He's going to utilize that Muay Thai, maybe get in the clinch, maybe incorporate some elbows. But I'm looking here for him to utilize his kicks, right? And chop at the calf, chop at the body. And I think he's going to get it done here, man. I think Costa.
Yeah, Costa's shown to be a dog, bro. Like, there's something about this.
He's a dog. And even if Erosa does get this fight to the ground, I trust in Costa's scrambling ability enough, his jiu-jitsu enough to hold his own, right? He's not gonna look like Andrade, bro. Did you see Andrade against Jasmine Jasudavicius, bro? They were talking about how she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, bro. And what happened when Jasmine took her down, man?
Jiu-jitsu, bro. Jiu-jitsu. But listen, I'm gonna side with Costa too. I think Costa has what it takes to beat this man, and I just didn't like Erosa in his last performance. Like, yes, you knocked the guy out, but like he was clipping you, bro, and he was, like you said, with the six pack. Like, it was. I'm gonna go with Costa. I don't trust, and they're both fighters coming from a 3-fight winning streak too. So this is a very intriguing fight.
Who did he beat before Elkins again? Ricardo Ramos and then Christian Rodriguez submitted him up. But he had the size over Christian. I mean, 6'1" over. How tall is Christian? Like 5'7", 5'8"?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you're good on the ground like that and you take down somebody smaller than you, you're not only long on the feet, you're also long on the ground, right? So it makes it very difficult for people to defend you on the ground and stuff like that. So I could see why he submitted Christian Rodriguez. Next up here we have Nursultan Ruziboev taking on Dustin Stolrzfus. Now, Ruziboev is 35-9-2 and is 4-5 in their last five bouts. Last beating Eric Maconio via KO. Stolrzfus is 16-6-0 and is 3-5 in their last five bouts. Last beating Marc-Andre Barrios via KO. I think I had Stolrzfus in that fight. I think were you on Barrios' side?
Yeah.
You were on Barrios' side, right? And Stolrzfus was able to put him out of there. I think here, though, he's up against a challenge in Ruziboev. Because this is Ruziboev at middleweight. This isn't Ruziboev at welterweight, right? And I think that issue he had when you look at his record, and people are gonna look at that and be like, oh, he lost to Joaquin Buckley, but that's Joaquin Buckley at 170. That's Joaquin Buckley at 170, who's fighting. He's in the top 5. He's in title contention, right? He's possibly gonna be challenging for the belt soon in the future, if not maybe next year. So that's not a bad person to lose to. You look at Ruziboev, as I mentioned, he's tall, he's 6'5". He has good wrestling, even though he doesn't use it as well because his striking's so good. In that Maconio fight, he kind of got his reads in early. He kept his distance, and then once he had his reads in, he fucking found the button, right? And he put out Maconio. He's going up against Stolrzfus, and no discredit to Stolrzfus. He's good. He has good wrestling. He has good jiu-jitsu and he's chaotic. He can fight in the pocket and he can have that brawling mentality. But I think if Stoltzfus is going to have difficulty trying to close the distance and incorporate the wrestling, like I could see him trying to push him up against the fence, trying to secure some takedowns. But I think Ruziboev's wrestling and his takedown defense is good enough to keep this fight standing, keep it at range, utilize his striking, hold his own on the ground. I think Ruziboev's gonna win here. And even if Stoltzfus does get some takedowns, I don't think he's gonna be able to control Ruziboev all that long because he's so big, right? He's so massive. So. And then the big issue is going to be closing that distance, right? Up against a tall, lengthy fighter.
He's very good. He's very good at creating distance, especially with his frame, right? Like
exactly.
I think the 6'5", but I thought somebody 6'5", these motherfuckers are tall, bro.
No, they're tall, bro. I work with a guy who's like 6'8", bro, and I look at him like this motherfucker's tall, bro. Like, man, like that shit's crazy. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Ruziboev here, man. I think he has the tools. He's overall well-rounded. He's a bit better than Stoltzfus, and Stoltzfus he's nobody to mess with, right? He's dangerous though. You know, if he does close in that distance and does get in the wrestling, it looks like Stoltzfus Chimaev, whatever, bro. It's gonna be a long night, but I think Ruziboev gets it done.
Ruziboev. Let's not even consider this, bro. Ruziboev got this.
Yeah, Ruziboev. Next up, we have our featured fight. We have Sodiq Yusuff taking on Myron Santos. Yusuff is 13-4-0 and is 2-5 in the last 5 bouts. Last losing to Diego Lopez via knockout at UFC 300. Saw that. I was there. Santos is 15-1-0 and is 4-5 in the last 5 bouts. Last beating Francis Marshall via split decision, where he didn't win that fight. I think he lost, bro.
He did lose.
I think Marshall beat him, but stylistically, that was a bad fight for Santos because Santos is a Muay Thai, striker. He with those kicks who going up against Marshall, who had the forward pressure, training at AT&T, right? Having the takedown, the forward pressure was a tough fight stylistically for Santos. But here he's going up against somebody that complements his style better in Yusuff, right? When you watch Yusuff, he's a technical striker who relies on his power punches and kicks to win fights. He likes to utilize his jab and his leg kicks. He doesn't necessarily utilize the wrestling too much. So Myron Santos here is not going to have the threat of wrestling like he did against Francis Marshall, right? And I think a lot of people are on the side of Yusuff because they look at the last fight that he had, that Santos had against Marshall. They'd be like, oh, this guy's, he lost. He shouldn't have won that fight. And could there be bad karma? Could there be bad juju? Whatever. But I don't think Yusuff's going to go in here and utilize the wrestling. I think he likes to fight at range. He likes to utilize his jab, his boxing. He's not a forward pressure striker. And he struggles against people who are aggressive and move forward. And that's what Santos has. He has that kickboxing, that Muay Thai background. We've talked about it before. His low kicks and his body shots are very effective. They're very good. He throws rapid combinations while moving forward. I think he's gonna look good in the smaller octagon. This is a smaller octagon too, like up against Francis Marshall was a pay-per-view card, right? So it was a bigger octagon. So in the smaller octagon, having good cardio, having good pressure movement, forward pressure movement, utilizing his kickboxing and his Muay Thai, I think he's gonna look good here, man. I think he might be able to even put Yusuff away here, man. So I might look at the prop for Santos inside the distance here. I think there's two ways this fight can go, right? If Santos having that doubt that he essentially lost that fight and he was given the split decision. He even admitted it, like in an interview after the fight happened. He did an interview on some channel. He said, "Yeah, I don't think I won that fight. Marshall won that fight." I think he's gonna come in here with the mindset that I have to get an undeniable win, right? Like I need to win. Like I need to have no questions surrounding whether this is a decision that was gifted or whatever. I need to have a win. So I want to see how he approaches this fight. So I've yapped a lot, but I'm going to go with Santos here to get it done. He's probably going to knock out Yusuff.
I mean, I'm going the other way. I think Sodiq takes this. He's been out for a while.
He's been out for a year because he got 300.
Yeah, I think. Let me see what the odds are now. I think that's actually a very good bet. I mean, what are we betting on? Are we betting on the fact that there's a possibility that this guy comes in and looks a step behind because he's been out so long? Is that what we're counting on? Because Sodiq is good.
I think Sodiq is good, but stylistically, I don't think I think this matchup favors Yusuff because I'm not Yusuff. Favors Santos because there's no threat of wrestling. Whereas Marshall had the threat of wrestling, right? He had the threat of. He also like dropped him too, right? Didn't he drop Santos in that fight with the striking? So he had the threat on the feet and he had the threat on the ground. But I don't think Sadiq has that wrestling or that grappling threat. If you watch his fights, he rarely goes for takedowns. So I think him having that range, having that jab, and then Santos moving forward, utilizing his kicks, being comfortable, not worrying about the takedowns. I think he's going to be able to find his groove, man, and get into like a flow state with his combinations. We're going to be able to see how good he is. And he got his UFC debut out the way, man.
Yeah, he did get it out of the way with Ken Ofley. I'm gonna go either way. I'm gonna go with Sadiq. Sadiq is in the midst of the chopping block. I think the last two opposition, bro, that SM Barbosa fight, he was winning the 2 rounds, and then that was the main event, and then he came back and Barbosa, and then Diego Lopez. We know what the mighty Diego Lopez is. Let's not make a mistake about it.
My guy, bro. It's my guy. Yeah. Cost me a lot of money, but that's my guy. But yeah, so you're gonna go with Yusuff to win. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not mad at it. Yusuff, where I'm on the side of Santos. Moving up here to our co-main event, we have Paul Craig taking on Rodolfo Bellato. Now, Paul Craig is 17-9-1 and is 1-5 in the last 5 bouts. Last losing to Bo Nickel via unanimous decision, whereas Bellato is 12-2-1 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last drawing with the Jimmy Crute in UFC Australia. Now, when you look at Craig, I mean, we all know that Craig, right? His strength is what? On the ground, right? He has that jiu-jitsu. He has that elite Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He has 10 submission wins. He has upsets over the likes of, Magomed Ankalaev, Jamal Hill, all people that were former champions, right? Or current. Ankalaev is the current champion, and Jamal Hill is the former champion. Yeah, his grappling is unorthodox. His striking isn't the best. I mean, when you're going up against a Bo Nickel who's, trying to improve on his striking, he's throwing that overhand right and you're unable to read it throughout the fight and put him out. I mean, how good is your striking really, right? But it's respectable, I guess. The issue with him, Paul Craig, is he doesn't have the takedown accuracy, right, to be a big of a threat, if that makes sense, right? Like, he's good on the ground, but he doesn't have the takedowns to complement being that good on the ground. And he's going up against Bellato here, who we saw in his last fight. He was able to rally and win the second round after losing the first round. I think the first round was a 10-8, right? It was a 10-8. And then he came back and he looked good. He has good striking. He's a brawler. He also has good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He does shoot for takedowns here. He's physical. He's aggressive. I think he's gonna look to keep this fight standing. It would be dumb for him to shoot for a takedown, even though he likes to do it in all his fights. I think it'd be dumb of him to do it. I think he's gonna take the Bo Nickel approach and just keep this fight standing. So I'm gonna go with Bellato, man.
I'm going with Bellato too, and there's an interview that came out with MMA Junkie where just right now Yusuff talked about where he's been, just injuries. That's where Sadiq has been. So sorry, I just saw that and I'm like, let me see if this motherfucker has something crazy. But yeah, I mean, you add the fact that he's coming. Who's coming up? Who's coming down?
Bellato is
coming down. Really?
Oh wait, hold up. This is at middleweight? No, Paul Craig is coming down.
No. Paul. So Paul was a middleweight.
Paul was a light heavyweight. He beat Ankalaev. He beat Jamal Hill. He's coming down.
Okay, no. So Bellato's coming down.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Oh yes, Bellato's coming down. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what you're asking.
Yeah. Sorry, that's where I was kind of going because I'm like, so here's the thing. The issue with Craig, it's always been his cardio. Craig is a 1-round fighter. Like, yeah, he's a 1-round fighter, but he hasn't put that to the test. Like, his only win here was Muniz. That was a good fight too. That was also like one, but then after that, it's like, but it's also killers, bro. I look at this, bro, and I just see, bro, I'm going with Craig, bro. Like, man, I know it sounds crazy, bro. It sounds crazy.
Tell me why. You going off because he lost the killers, or what? Why are you going with it?
This might even be a 1st-round submission if this guy comes in locked in and just like. Yeah, I just didn't like.
37 years old. Yeah, I could see an issue where Bellato comes in and he shoots for a takedown, he gets caught up and gets submitted. But do you see
All
Paul Craig
striking. Bellato's gonna do all striking
do you
though.
see Paul Craig taking him out, taking him down?
That's the thing. Like, it's just he hasn't looked as like explosive in middleweight as he has in lightweight. That's my only issue. Like the explosive.
Yeah. Also, the thing that I saw today was, Paul Craig was talking about like, yeah, I'm on a 3-fight losing streak. Like, if I lose again, that's my contract. Like I won't be in the UFC anymore, so I have to win. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Paul Craig comes out in a do or die situation. But even if he does lose, I don't see the UFC cutting him, man. I think he's one of those guys that they'll just put to test some of these cats. But yeah, so there's that as well, right? What's his mindset going to be? He's fighting for a contract essentially, man. Is he going to go out there and be reckless or give this guy the nod and take the punch, man? Take
Yeah.
the
And the other issue was like the fact that Bellato really couldn't finish Jimmy Crute because Jimmy Crute was looking like Jose Aldo after the second round. My boy was tired. My boy was cansado.
But that was a pay-per-view and he was in enemy territory. He was in Australia. It was a bigger octagon. We're gonna see him in Vegas in the smaller octagon where he doesn't have to worry about the takedown as much, right? And he just
Yeah,
can kind of
the issue that he also didn't look horrible against Bo Nickel. Like Bo Nickel looked horrible against him. He was actually.
Well, Bo Nickel respected his jujitsu that he was trying to, and he was also trying to prove a point, right? Like let me show people that I could strike. Let me show people that my striking is developing, right? And Bo Nickel,
Bad
I
idea.
mean, we saw.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Paul Craig. I think this is it's a risky play here, but and he's a plus 390 now. He's gone, my boy. Like I said, this is a risky play. I'm betting on the fact that he comes a little bit more energized and he tries to get it done in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is MMA, man. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. We'll move on to our main event where I feel like we're going to be on opposing ends here. We have Gilbert Burns taking on Michael Morales, the Ecuadorian. Burns is 22-8-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Jack Della Maddalena via KO. Morales is 17-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts, last beating Neil Magny via KO. Ground and pound punches, I believe it was. If you look at Gilbert Burns' last 5 fights, he's on a 3-fight losing skid, but I want to note the people that he lost to. He lost to Bilal Muhammad, who was the former welterweight champ. He lost to Jack Della Maddalena, who's the current welterweight champ, and he lost to Sean Brady via unanimous decision. Now, in each of those fights, it's interesting, right? Like the Jack Della Maddalena fight, he was up 2-0 in my opinion. He did get some takedowns in that fight. He got KO'd in the 3rd round. He lost that fight. Sean Brady is an interesting fight because he didn't let his hands go as much. And, Sean Brady was able to showcase that he has the cardio to go 5 rounds. That was his first 5-round fight. He went the 5 rounds with them. He showed his cardio. He got the takedowns. He controlled them. He looked good. He's going up against Michael Morales, who last time out beat Neil Magny. He beat Jake Matthews, Max Griffin, Adam Fugit via KO. I mean, we all know what Gilbert Burns brings to the table, right? He has that grappling, that wrestling. He's one of the best grapplers in the welterweight division. He has the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He has a black belt, legit black belt, stocky frame. He's got power behind his shots, and he's been on a downward trajectory, right, in his last 3 fights. But he's lost to people who are former champs or are gonna be fighting for the championship, right? Like Sean Brady's gonna be fighting for the championship. It's going up against Michael Morales, who is a Muay Thai champion desde Ecuador. He has good boxing, good footwork. He can grapple. He can defend takedowns. In this fight, I think he does have the striking advantage. He does have the physical advantage and the technicality when it comes to striking. He has an 8-inch reach advantage over Burns, 79 over 71, and a 2-inch height advantage. I think this fight is a bad matchup for Burns because Michael Morales in the small octagon, right? If he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns that Burns brings, utilize the distance, manage the distance, neutralize the takedowns. If he does get taken down, I think he'll do well in the scrambles, bring it back to its feet if needed, kind of piece him up at range, and then slowly close the distance and utilize that Muay Thai. I think Michael Morales gets it done here, man.
I'm gonna do the old guard, Roy, and listen.
Listen, if you've been watching this channel since its beginning, I think the first card we broke down was what was the first card we broke down? Was it Kyle Barallo? I think it was Kyle Barallo versus
yeah,
or was it Sean Brady? Was it Sean Brady? I forgot what card it was, but we broke down a card, and ever since then, you've always been on the side of Burns, and I'm not mad at it. I do know there is some bias though in that pick. I won't talk about it, but there's some bias. But go ahead, man. Go ahead. Go
so
ahead.
The only thing that concerns me is the fact that, listen, there's a 38 years old. He might be done, but then you really look at his opponents, and you're looking at Bilal Muhammad, former champion, Jack Magdalena, which he was beating, current champion, and then Sean Brady,
broken arm, but yes,
broken arm. And then Sean Brady 8 months ago, which
you're not a believer in Sean Brady though. Let's be honest. You've been a Sean
I mean,
Brady.
he's the number one contender now, right? He's the number one, which makes Gilbert Burns technically the number 2 or number 3. That's not how the rankings work, but I just think he's going to come in prepared. Like the thing is, like for the Brady fight, he came a little bit on the heavier side. If he comes, like I will pick Burns. I just need to see the weigh-in. I need to see how lean he looks. I need to see, maybe this kid's gonna get tested, brother.
I'm gonna call you out here because in this show on the past you said, I'm a guy, I like reach, I like range, and when I see that, I lick my lips a little bit. So what is it about the 8-inch reach that you don't like here? And
he's not gonna strike. He's gonna go jiu-jitsu 101. He's gonna go back into wrestling, back into the fundamentals.
Who, Gilbert or Michael?
Gilbert is gonna
Gilbert's gonna go for the rest. Okay.
Gilbert's gonna try to like overhand right his way into a double leg, take him down, and work his wizardry there. Because if I'm Michael Morales, I can't really press forward because Gilbert's gonna look into like counter, come inside. I think that's what he's going to look for. I think that's the strategy of the fight. And this is a good bet for Gilbert. $20 makes you right now. Yeah, bro. Like, let me look at, brother. Plus 625. Like,
plus 625 for what?
Plus 625 for Gilbert Burns. He's a plus 625.
All right. See the odds.
$20, bro. $20.
Listen, and like I said, anything could happen, right? Gilbert Burns can come out. Gilbert Burns of the old. I listened to a Michael Morales interview, and one of the things they asked him was like, "What is the biggest threat that you think Gilbert Burns poses to you?" Right? And he didn't talk about the wrestling. He didn't talk about the jiu-jitsu. You know what he said it was?
Overhand.
He said it was the overhand, right? Exactly. He said he has such he's a power puncher, right? Like he has that stocky build. He comes in and he throws that overhand, right? That's looking to knock you out. And that's one thing that we looked at and that we're focused on countering or working against. So we'll see, man. Well, I think that it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a fun fight, and we'll see if Michael Morales has what it takes, right, to enter.
So here's the question: we got a couple of undefeated fighters these years that lost their own.
Yeah,
very similar.
Exactly. Right? There's also that undefeated fighter curse, right? Do you want to put your money on a undefeated, untested, you could say, Michael Morales? But I think Michael Morales is good, man. I think he has good tool set. He has good skill.
He has, but it's just like I like Gilbert's off because like even if with Magny, I think Burns sweep the floor with Magny. He'll look to do the same with that's the only thing is the age, bro. Like, let's see how he comes out, bro. Because if my man comes out with the same frame, it's a little bit different fight. But Sean Brady's also a tough motherfucker. So it's like,
yeah, Sean Brady, I know you don't like Sean Brady as much. I'm pretty big on Sean Brady. I think he's good, man. But yeah, I think Michael Morales gets it done here. And I'm not mad at the pick. Gilbert Burns, every dog has one last fight in them, right? Damn. But I think he's at that point in his career, man. 38 years old. where they're just gonna test them. Like, let's test these cats, bro. Let's test these cats.
Well, that's how
You
he
know?
gets in the. That's how.
Just how you tested Hamza. Let's test these cats. Let's test these cats. See if they have what it takes.
What do they have this record at? Let me see. Well, that was a tough fight for Hamza, right? Like Hamza.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's just at that point where he's just, you're not gonna be fighting for a title anytime soon, brother. Let's test.
Number
Let's
8
test
versus
these cats.
number 12, bro. Like,
Number 8 versus number 12.
yeah.
Yeah, so he's trying to get into that top 10. And look at this welterweight division, man. That fucking division is nasty, man. Can you make it a little bit bigger? We got Leon Edwards on his way out. We got Kamaru Usman on his way out. Tough fight against Buckley. Covington, man. Covington is hiding there, dude. They need to give Covington.
They're trying to get him out of there, though. Just give him.
If he wins here, if Michael Morales wins here, oh no, that's going backwards. Who?
Yeah,
Who?
no, I just Prades. Just give Prades
Give him a wrestler or Vicente Luque,
Kobe.
maybe.
No, give Prades Kobe.
Yeah, test him against a wrestler. Huh?
Yeah. He's not the same.
Jeff Neal. I think they'll give him something that complements Prates. I think they'll give Prates Jeff Neal. They'll give him another striker.
Yeah.
They'll give him a strike. They want to build him up slowly again. That Ian Gary fight went how we. I mean, I was on Prates' side, right? But I think Ian Gary had a good game plan, and it was exactly how I fucking thought he was gonna fight too. It's always crazy when I always think how the other person's gonna win, they end up winning that way.
Yeah.
So just stick to my gut, but Ian Gary, man.
I knew Gary would. I told you he's gonna pick and move.
I knew he was gonna pick, but he Ian Gary, man, like against Shavkat, he lost. He almost got submitted, right? No, he almost submitted Shavkat, right? But he did lose that fight up against Prates. He almost got beaten. Prates was 2-3 hammer punches away, bro. 2-3 strikes away from the ref ending that fight. Prates just had poor fight IQ, poor cardio, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna be, this division is interesting, man. I want to see like what happens at the top, like Leon Edwards. Do you think they give Leon Prates instead of Jeff Neal to try to get Prates into the top 4?
No, like I don't think that's a good idea.
Why don't you think it's a good idea? Striker versus striker.
Yeah, but like it's just you're rewarding a guy that hasn't really.
Who do you give Leon then? You give Leon what? Michael Venom Page? You want Venom Page in number 4 if he beats him?
No, well, UK versus UK boy, no.
Who do you give? Who do you give? Michael Morales? If Michael Morales wins here, you think Michael Morales versus Edwards?
I think for either Gilbert or you give him Michael Morales. I think that's a great fight. Buckley's already locked in. Gary's not fighting Edwards, I don't think. Or maybe you do that fight and go from there.
Yeah, well, Gary's already saying that he doesn't want to fight anybody else other than the title. He wants the title.
Gary, yeah, but Gary's 6, and Sean Brady was 1 until Bilal lost. So it's like,
well, yeah, and then you have Islam. Islam is coming in. So all those Islam's coming in, so all those boys got to take another fight. I'm like, shit, I gotta fight somebody. I think you do Sean and Gary. Fuck it, run it. Striker versus grappler.
Yeah, it's a good fight. I mean, welterweight is a very exciting division, but what I don't want is to happen to the division like this. That bro, it's looking grim over here, brother.
Where?
At light heavyweight and heavyweight, there's not many actions. You're getting a lot of welterweight fights, and the wrench, bro. They threw the wrench, bro.
Yeah, they threw the wrench, man. But yeah. Anyways, there is our full card breakdown. We will be dropping our picks and our bets on X. Make sure you follow. Make sure you show some love. My boys over there. What are you doing over there, brother? What are you doing over there? Making bets? What are you doing over there? At the end of the day,
I'm putting money on Burns, bro. I'm putting money on remember, bro. Remember.
I remember before we started filming. So part of the reason why we started filming is because we used to have these phone calls. We used to go on Spaces, and then we're like, you know what? Let's start recording these. And I remember before we started recording, Jack Della Maddalena up against Burns, we had a long conversation. You're like, oh, Burns. And sure enough, when the fight was happening, you were like, Burns, baby. Decision, Burns, baby. And then he got KO'd, right? And he fell backwards and he got the ground and pound, and I hit you back up. Jack Della Maddalena. But I was on JDM on that fight, I remember. And Sean Brady. So we'll see. Do I go 3-0 against Burns, or do I go 2-1?
2-1, baby. 2-1. Let's go.
We'll see. But there's our full card breakdown. Make sure you show some love. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. Any parting words, my man?
Nah, but it's gonna be a good card. We're gonna
It's
vibe.
gonna be a good card. After this, we do have, I think, Blanchfield versus. Ooh, who's she fighting? Blanchfield. I don't even know who she's fighting. Blanchfield versus.
Fighting?
I think that's the
Wow,
next main event. Damn, I'm pretty
that
bad. I
is
should.
insane. Let me see.
It's Blanchfield versus who the fuck is she fighting?
I'll
It's
say
in
right
2
now.
weeks. We have a right there fight night.
Barber.
Blanchfield versus Barber. Okay, that's who I thought. Barber. So we do have that in 2 weeks after. So we do have a week off. We will be back. We'll probably drop the video next week. I don't know if you're free, if you're down for that, like we did last time. We'll do it a week. We'll do it a week ahead. We'll watch some film. We'll get those. Zach Reese is back, huh? Ooh, that's supposed to. That's a trying to get him back in the W column, huh?
Dead, bro. Motherfucker
Jordan
lost
Lance,
bro.
Kurt Hollabaugh, Bolagioki, Marquez. Oh, bro, we know who we're going with in that fight. I got some. I didn't like Markel in his last fight against Hubbard, bro. I thought Hubbard. Anyways, we'll talk about that next week, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, love what you love, do what you do. We're out. Peace.